Hi, in this episode I'll show you how to save and load your data using the Intrigues save system. The Intrigues save system enables you to save and load all data contained within the tool, including intrigues, variables, families, and clans. Everything inside the tool can be saved and loaded. First, we'll create a simple UI. When you click the Save button, it will perform a save. The Save Name input field determines the name of the save file. If left empty, a random name is generated. The Save Overwrite button will overwrite the currently active save file. The Load Latest button loads the most recently saved data. When you click the Load button, all saves are listed. You can then load the selected save file from this list. Clicking the Delete button will remove the active save file. That's it for the setup. Now let's move on to some coding to make these functions work. Open the demo script. To capture the save name, create an input field reference named SaveName. Create the necessary methods. Drag the Save Name input field into the inspector. Assign the methods we've created to the button's on-click Unity events. Saving is quite straightforward. You can save all data with just one line of code. The subsequent steps are equally simple. Let's proceed. Now I want to list all save files. To do this, I'll use the Intrigues dialog system. Let's first check if a save file exists. Using a for-each loop, add all the save files as option buttons in the dialog window. The Add Choice function adds a selection button to the dialog window. Use a lambda method to specify the action that will occur when an option is clicked. With Save File Info, you can access the save file's name and file information. File information, such as the file's write date, is accessible through the File Info property. Let's test it out. We'll open debug mode to view the feedback. As you can see, all the variables, families, clans, stories, characters, essentially everything inside the tool, can now be saved and loaded. If encryption is enabled, you can also encrypt the save content. Next, let's return to the last save with the Load Latest button. You'll notice that the game mode and silver variables have reverted to their state at the last save. The Load button, as expected, displays the save file. Let's load from here again. The load operation occurs as expected. Now I'll demonstrate that all characters in the player have been saved. Let's change the player to King Olaf. When I load the last save file, the player reverts back to Ulrich, as expected. Let's now delete the active save file. That's it. All the buttons are functioning as intended. I'll also show you how intrigue stories are saved. Let's initiate an assassination intrigue against Cassia and repeat until successful. Excellent. Cassia has been eliminated and has now turned into a passive character. Her role as the heir is taken over by her oldest child. When we return to an old save, Cassia should be active again, and as expected, she is. However, there's a minor issue. The leader portrait on the map didn't update when we loaded the save. But don't worry, there's a simple solution for this. Let's dive deeper. Open the map interaction script. With the Intrigue Save System onload event, you can define actions that will occur when the system loads. What we're going to do next is update the leader portrait when the save system loads. That's it for this part. Perfect. Now let's move on to how the Intrigue story flow is saved. Every event in the Intrigue flow picks up right from where you saved when loaded. Variables within the story, including all nodes, are saved and loaded flawlessly. For example, if you save while a dialogue is open in the story and then close the game, upon reopening and loading the game, the open dialogues will reappear, allowing you to continue the story seamlessly. This feature ensures that even the most complex and extensive stories can be perfectly saved and loaded. You can verify this functionality in the demo game. The onload node is triggered when the save system performs a load operation. For instance, if you activate an intrigue named Revolt, fires will start on the map. If you save the game and then reload it, you can use this node to restart the fires. Let's put this to the test. We'll close the game and then reopen it from scratch. Great. As you can observe, everything is loaded just as it was, and the story continues without interruption. Next, I'll demonstrate how runtime actors, or characters added later, are saved. We'll start by creating runtime actors using the Make Child button. As expected, runtime actors are saved and loaded without any issues. However, there's a catch. When you close and reopen the game from scratch, runtime actors completely disappear. meaning they won't return when the load operation is performed. To resolve this, we need to add the runtime actor loader component to the scene where the characters are located. In scenes with this component, runtime actors will be automatically recreated during the load operation. Let's see this in action. Great! As you can clearly see, everything works seamlessly. Now, let's explore how the save system operates in scenarios with multiple scenes. Suppose you want to load a save from the menu scene and then switch to the main scene. To achieve this, create a new script. This script will prompt you at the start to select the save you wish to load. Once selected, the save will be loaded. Here we'll do something different. Within the Lambda, we'll write code that facilitates the transition to the second scene after loading the data. Remember to add both scenes in the build settings. Also, don't forget to drag the Intrigue System Manager prefab into the scene. It's crucial for the Intrigue System Manager to be active from the very first scene your project runs in. Then, select the database with the Load Database option. That's all there is to it. Let's give it a test run. Fantastic! The save and load system is functioning perfectly. If you encounter any issues, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We aim to provide support within 2 business days. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.